What's good, everybody? It's your man DL Saint. Like I said, down here at Trillis, and we with the man, the myth, the legend himself, man, the owner of Chillis. We got Joe right here. And one of the things we want to talk about, and again, we're having these conversations, guys. We're not trying to make people upset or get anyone in their feelings. We're just trying to look at these topics and give you guys an honest take from two older dudes. I'm the old dude. He's almost old. You're just getting our take on it, right? So let's talk
real
about.
quick. What is our age difference? I never really examined this.
I'm 55.
55, and I'm about to be 48. You're about to be
55.
okay.
About it. December, I'll be 55.
So we got 7 years. I mean, that's not okay.
That's a good.
You're right, bro. We're in the same. We're both Gen X.
Yep. Both Gen
Both
X.
Gen X.
So you got Gen X's take on all this, which is perfect. That's perfect. So trans in sports. Now it's not a problem with male sports. When we talk about this whole trans thing in sports, right? It's not a problem with male sports. Why? Because men dominate sports, right? Because of our bone density and our lung capacity and our height and strength and everything else. So so we have to talk about female sports. And I'm not gonna lie to you. It's bad for women who compete to have to compete against a person who was born a man. Irregardless of whatever drugs they're taking.
I'm going with unfair. I'm not even going with bad. I'm going with unfair. It is an unfair advantage, and it's the reason why we have banned substances around steroids and stuff. It's an unfair advantage when competing. And when you're competing, you're not supposed. It's supposed to be a relatively level playing field with people overachieving in things that everyone can overachieve in, which is max bench press or squat, or how high you can jump. Right, these guys in the NBA or whatever, or these long jumpers who can really get the triple jump and all that kind of stuff. Right, this is all dominated by men because of our crazy. It's like, I think it's 50% more muscle mass than women on average.
You can't get around it. Even if you took all the steroids your body can hold, you still would have trouble getting close to the guys at the top if you were a female.
And even, by the way, leg strength. Leg strength is like, I think it's less, but it's like we have 20 to 30% more leg strength than women. And women have great leg strength.
And that's where they're
and we still crush them there.
Still crushing them. And here's the thing, guys. We're not saying that you shouldn't be trans. I'm not saying that. You do what you want to do. If that's how you want to live your life, fine. All we're saying is that those people in that category, I think all trans people, be it man or woman, woman or man, they should all compete in their own category and get their awards accordingly. And guess who will dominate those awards? The trans people who were born men. That's all I'm saying.
It's an unfair advantage. And it's not going to happen every time because some men are just weaklings and they can't. Yeah, it's like it's not a universal thing, but on a balance of probabilities, these former men are going to have a great advantage.
Right.
A great advantage.
Sports like boxing, volleyball, track and field, they're gonna kill a game. Basketball. I mean, could you imagine LeBron? Tennis.
Golf.
How
about golf?
Yeah. Right. I mean, yes.
These guys are crushing the ball.
Par
5.
Even if the woman has the best mid game,
for sure,
that she ain't driving as long as this dude.
She will lose just because the course is 18 holes. Like, there will be too many advantages for the man during the. Yeah, on a par 3, she could do just fine. She could do just fine.
Well, there you go. Modify it to par 3s, par 4s.
That might be fun. I don't know. Maybe we're wrong, by the way. I'm not even sure about the statistics. Maybe some female golfer would come out like Serena and be like, right? Like, I can't beat these golfers. I don't know what you're talking about. But I presume, based on short distances that are par 3s, I would presume that a woman could really give a man a run for his money. That's my presumption.
And guys, don't take our word for it. Go look it up online. They have there's a competition for those drives. They have competition for drives. Just long drives.
Yo, those guys are crazy.
Right, and who dominates that?
It's easily men. Every time. It's not even close.
That's all we're saying. So when it comes to this topic, the only reason I'm speaking up about it is because I don't want my daughter out there competing against a guy who was born a man. He has that advantage. Even if my daughter took steroids, which I wouldn't allow, she's not going to be able to compete with this dude. This dude who's 6'4", 225 pounds, is all ripped. That's man. Even if you cut off the man parts, it's still a man. And it's just unplaying.
Even if he's the same height as her. Even if he weighs the same as her. She will have a higher percentage of body fat than the man on a balance of probabilities, and he will have more muscle mass, even at the same weight.
And lung density, right?
I think there's definitely a lung capacity thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the stats go on and on and on.
Yeah,
We're
go
just
on and on.
focusing on one because it makes sense to people, I think, right? Like, I hope that can resonate with people.
All right. And I know when you guys get into the chat, you're going to be like, you guys are just anti-trans. No, we're trying to look out for the women. That's it. Now, here's my thing. If we're going to open it up, like you guys are saying, letting, these people compete, trans people compete with biological females, then remove all of the restrictions and just, hey, if you can make the team, you can make the team.
Yeah, have one standard, right?
One standard and just
and
one
if
big
you can
sport.
Do it, great. If you can't, too bad.
Right. So keep in mind, the reason we have female sports is because science has recognized that there's a difference, and we want people to be able to compete. So you got these young women out here busting their butts to get out there, and then they're gonna lose in the track and field event, or they're gonna lose a basketball game, they're gonna lose a volleyball game because they're going against a dude, and that's the end of the day, or a person who was born with men as a man. And again, I can care less.
It's just not fair.
It's not fair. Bro.
I'm for fairness, bro. It's not fair.
Especially in sports.
That's what I mean. You're supposed to have a level playing field so that you can determine if you're actually the best. You're not the best if you're the only one taking steroids. You're not the best.
You're not the best. You know what I mean? Steroid. Hey, what's up? Was it Lance Armstrong?
Hey, listen.
We'll see you, Lance.
I think everyone should be able to take steroids. I think it should be a whole steroid world. So, I mean,
You should be able to do that too then, if we're going to do this.
Right? I'm saying. So just let guys take steroids, and then you'd have a million Barry Bondses in the major leagues. Yo, it would be great. It would be really entertaining.
You got a million Lance Armstrongs,
guys,
man, on those bikes just
all
going.
The NFL guys, bro. All the Major League Baseball guys. All the hockey guys. Let them all do steroids.
People would die.
Ooh, they probably would.
People would die. It
probably
wouldn't
would.
be funny. Like,
See, so another good reason why we don't allow steroids, I guess. I didn't think about that. That's true.
That's
That'd be really bad.
Could you imagine somebody the size of Shaquille O'Neal on skates playing?
No. Oh my God, he can't. That guy can't skate. He can't even hit a free throw.
But if you pumping up these Ottawa dudes with steroids at 13, they're gonna be as big as a house.
Yeah.
On the ice.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna die. So that's it, guys. We just want to throw that in there. People in the chat, let us know what you think. Like I said, like Joe said, man, we could be completely wrong here. We could be. Well, what do we know? We're just two Gen Xers trying to figure this shit out.
I just like to use statistics to come to conclusions. That's all I like to do. And it seems pretty logical that you don't want a man playing in women's sports or someone who used to be a man playing in women's sports due to the absolute science of it.
That's it. And that's where I am with it. And again, you could start another league. It can be professional where all people who identify as such, they can compete in that league.
Why can't they compete with the women? They're built exactly like a woman. They're a man. I'll grant them that. They're a man. Great. You're built like a woman biologically, so go compete with women. That makes sense to me. Now you need a different locker room. You need some, right? There needs to be other things that you can separate.
That's another conversation.
For sure. I just mean, you make different concessions, but as far as the competition goes, the running of the track and field, just go compete with the dudes, right? This trans man, whatever, that won the 400 that we were talking about earlier, right? Like, that person should just be competing with men. And if they can compete with men, then awesome. If they can't compete with men, they don't get to compete with women. It's not fair.
That's why I like the idea. Then if they can't compete with men, fine, but then they can go to that second category of all trans people and compete with them.
I know, but the problem that everyone hates that argument because there's not enough trans people to make a league. So ideally, you're right. In a vacuum, that's what would happen. But
Right.
It's just not plausible.
It's not enough of them. You're right. See? Just a normal conversation between two dudes. And listen, let us know what y'all think in the comments below. And I appreciate y'all, man. I'm DL Saint. Hey, remember, we got merch now. Peace.